everyone, it's Jeg Reyes for CNN Philippines 10, where we break down major stories from here and abroad into bite-sized facts in 10 minutes. Are you ready to ditch your face mask indoors? Well, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. is set to issue an executive order that will soon allow voluntary face mask use in a closed setting. What's in that policy? CNN Philippines correspondent Rex Remitio reports.
After almost 3 years since the COVID-19 pandemic entered the Philippines, soon we may no longer need to wear face masks indoors, with the exception of medical facilities and public transportation.
The direction of the Marcos administration is to lift the remainder of travel restrictions into the Philippines, and that includes easing of our mask mandates to allow our country to be at par with our ASEAN neighbors who have long liberalized their mask mandates.
Unvaccinated persons and senior citizens are still encouraged to wear masks, as well as those with comorbidities and COVID-19 symptoms. Tourism Secretary Cristina Frasco made the announcement amid the continuing threats to public health, like the entry of XBB and XBC COVID subvariants in the country, as well as full face-to-face classes starting in November.
At tingin ko masyadong premature at nagmamadali ang government natin. Parang chaotic ang tingin ko. Tapos wala pa tayong Secretary of Health.
For Dr. Tony Liachon, it's too early to relax the face mask policy. He's suggesting some standards must be first met. First, less than 500 weekly COVID-19 cases. Second, less than 5% positivity rate. Third, more than 50% booster vaccination rate.
Habang gusto nating ibuksan ang ekonomiya, i-maintain natin ang face mask. There's nothing wrong with it eh. Ang hindi ko maintindihan, hindi naman sagabal ang pag-wear ng face mask to economic recovery.
It's a question that is for the Office of the President. I think for us, clear sa amin that we want to continue encouraging people, no? Parang hindi kayo pinagbabawal na mag-wear ng mask. There is also a process, no, for decisions to be made, and we are part of an entire task force.
Government documents are finally going digital. First up, the national ID card, which has encountered delays. To solve the backlogs, the Philippine Statistics Authority says it is working on issuing an e-Phil ID. Our correspondent Catherine Cruz tells us how to get one.
While more than 54 million Filipinos have registered to get the national ID, only 22 million ID cards have been printed by the Philippine Statistics Authority. Of those printed, the PhilPost has delivered more than 17 million. But what about those who were not yet issued a national ID? The PSA said that they are releasing an e-Phil ID. While waiting for the national ID, this e-Phil ID could be used in government and bank transactions. To get this, one must first have a PhilSys number or PSN. Problem is, not all who registered were assigned their PSN. Out of the 74 million who registered, only 45 million were generated with a PSN.
Kailangan na mabigyan natin ng PhilSys number yung kabuuan ng 74 million para mabigyan sila either the physical card or the e-Phil ID. Kasi critical yung PSN eh. You cannot have an e-Phil ID or a physical card without a PSN.
PSA estimated that it could take up to 4 months for the remaining 25 million registrants to have their PSN. For those who have their PSN, they may schedule an appointment at the nearest PhilSys registration center for the printing and issuance of their e-Phil ID. Assistant National Statistician Rene Mendoza said that the PSA is conducting interventions so that the public could reap the benefits of registering to the PhilSys even if they don't have their ID yet.
We're looking at two interventions here. One is yung downloadable na PDF. So we're hoping to get that operational, I think within 2 months. The other one is yung actual na mobile app where the mobile app has the ID itself. So we're still in the process of working on yung features. There's a bit more that we're working on just to make sure na when we release it, it's really usable for the public.
National statistician Dennis Mapa added that 2 additional printers will be added to fast-track the printing of the national ID. PSA aims to accomplish its target to print 30 million national ID cards and distribute 20 million printed e-Phil IDs before the year ends.
And just like the national ID, contact tracing for inbound international travelers will also go digital. The government says it is replacing the One Health Pass with the EArrival Card for convenience. This will be in place beginning November 1st. What we need to know about this digitized health check from our Sam Sadwan.
The EArrival Card is the new online health declaration and contact tracing platform for arriving international passengers. This will be used via a scan-and-go system in Philippine airports or seaports. So who needs to register? Filipino and foreign nationals, including infants and children traveling to the Philippines from another country, should register. Next question is when to register. Inbound passengers can register on their own convenient time before departure or upon arrival. In a statement, Malacanang clarifies EArrival Card completion is no longer mandatory before boarding. Instead, lanes will be set up in airports for this system. Now, where to register? Registration can be done through the mobile phone or computer via the website www.onehealthpass.com.ph. What information do you need? Travel details, personal profile, and health declarations such as vaccination and COVID-19 exposure will be needed. And last but not least, what to do after registration. Passengers can take a screenshot of the personal QR code and present it to the Bureau of Quarantine officers. And that's all you need to know about the new EArrival Card. Keep safe, travelers.
And with technology making access and movement easier, are you considering going electric for your daily drive? The Energy Department shares some benefits of using e-vehicles at the recent Philippine Electric Vehicle Summit.
There are efficiency benefits that we can have if we are to use electric vehicles. Number one of which is the environmental considerations. And with the era of high fuel prices, we can be shielded from them if we use electricity, because the aim of the government under the Philippine Energy Plan is to power electric vehicles using renewable energy, which is indigenous to the country.
In news abroad, Chinese President Xi Jinping gets a fresh term after a session of the National Congress of the Communist Party of China. The highest policy-making body meets every 5 years. In the West, U.S. President Joe Biden reveals his intention to run for re-election in 2024. Too early for some, but with the midterm polls next month, Biden's political future will be put in the spotlight. Meanwhile, in the United Kingdom, Rishi Sunak becomes Britain's Prime Minister, replacing Liz Truss, who resigned. Sunak is the third Prime Minister in 7 weeks and the first Hindu to lead Britain. At 42, he is also the youngest to hold office in more than 2 centuries. And now for our 10-second trivia. Who among these pop music artists broke the record for most streamed album in a single day on Spotify? Lady Gaga, Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, or Ed Sheeran? Taylor Swift's Midnights is the most streamed album on Spotify, with the pop star breaking the music platform's record on the same day it was released. Midnights is Swift's 10th album with 13 tracks, but a deluxe 3 a.m. version was also released, containing 7 more. Before the album's release, Quezon City landed in the top 13 cities listening to Taylor Swift on Spotify, joining other big cities in the world. Filipino Swifties, are you alright? And that's for CNN Philippines 10. I'm Jego Reyes, giving you news you can use, news you can trust in 10 minutes. Thanks for joining me today, and see you again next time.